Hi, here we are. It's nice. Santusta is the game today. Breathe and be happy. Let's give a moment for everyone to connect. Focus on yourself. Focus on being happy. It's simple. And let that shit go. Anashrita, let that shit go. Let the complications go. Let the drama go. Anashrita. Prepare your mind for simplicity. Anashrita, let that shit go. And then simplicity. Avyaja can be simple. If you let that shit go, if you let go of the complications, the drama, then simplicity can settle in. Avyaja. Avyaja. Avyaja, simplicity. Take things as they are. No need to complicate your mind. Santusta, the Siddhi of this week. Santusta. Santusta. Don't get caught up with the sound Santus. It's not that word about being saint, because that would be Latin, close to Latin. It is san, the bija, and the Sanskrit word tusta, which means satisfied. Santusta. All right, I'll have to explain two threads for us to understand this city. The first thread is tusta is to be satisfied. Did you enjoy your meal? Oh yes, I'm satisfied. It's not blissful, but it's satisfying. That's tusta, okay? In Sanskrit. And to be satisfied of meaning that you're not dissatisfied with specific things, okay? But it is not like a profound metaphysical sense of satisfaction. It is satisfied of, are you happy or not? Are you satisfied or not? Did you enjoy your walk? Yeah, tusta. I'm satisfied. It was nice. At least tusta is not about an explosion of joy or bliss. It's just, I'm satisfied. Santusta goes for a much deeper sense of satisfaction. Santusta is to the core of you. Okay? So it's not about the last meal you just got or if you enjoyed a walk. It's about the feeling of deep satisfaction with the little you have. So it's an ascetic. We're doing ascetic cities lately. Anashrita, Avyaja, now Santusta. As humans, we constantly have urges, deep desires, things we are convinced we need, but actually it's things we want. We don't need it. So let's establish a simple difference between what we want and what we need. Okay? In the head, intellectually, we think we know. I know. What we need is food, shelter, clothing, and a place in the world. something that won't kill us. Then we think what we want is all these desires. Okay, so intellectually we have easily identified the difference. But as a bio-experience and at an emotional level, we have trouble making that difference. We go, for example, I need chocolate now. And if you don't have chocolate, you'll be irritated or you'll be angry. But if you have an urge for chocolate, you talk with the feeling of need, but it's not a need, it's a want. You want chocolate. But you live it as an existential need on the surface. And if you need chocolate and you don't eat chocolate during an urge of chocolate, you still will survive. You'll fall asleep and move on to the next day. Do you understand what I mean? But you live it as an urge, as a need, when it's a want. Okay? So, we have to look at ourselves and admit we have these waves coming out from deep within, urges, needs that are illusionary needs. Oh, I must absolutely touch that person. Oh, I must have this job. Oh, I must eat this food. It's a need. I need it. I'm going to be hurt if I don't have it. You see, this is the lie. You already are hurt of not having it. And actually, you are hurt of not having something much deeper. Okay. Let's talk about missing someone specific. You miss someone. You miss a friend, an ex-lover, your parents, okay, your kids. You miss someone. You need that person in your life. Now, you're not going to like me, but you don't need that person. You want that person. Okay? But it's not a need. But you live it like a deep, deep, profound necessity. You see, it's not that you're going to be hurt if you don't have it, or if you don't have that person. It's that you already are hurt from not mourning that person. Yeah, it's deep, deep stuff. You already are hurt of not having the person you want to be with. And that's the difficulty we have to face as humans. We have wants that are so deep, that are hidden in pain. Okay? So like I was saying, Santusta is a simple act. Are you satisfied or not with the meal, with the person, with the conversation? Santusta is to cultivate progressively a deep sense of satisfaction of what you have now, the little you have, if you have little, and the satisfaction of the past. Okay, so you see, there's nostalgia, which is the past. You missed an emancipated moment from the past. You missed something from the past, and there's a deep core existential satisfaction that compensates for nostalgia, which is like nostalgia deep in the past, satisfied deep in the past. I look back and I can capitalize on these few good things that I had that will release me from the nostalgia. So for this deep core, And Santusta is lived now. It's not lived in the past. It's lived now. And it's also a deep sense of satisfaction now, not related to nostalgia, but it's like intemporal. So it does address all times, past, now, and also future. In the future, Santusta will make you not look forwards to impossible things. Like, oh, I so hope that one day I will be with that person, or one day I will go back again to that place, or one day I'll, have this job. Doesn't mean you won't. But this fog of false hope that keeps us yearning and out of the simplicity of the present. Okay? Mourn what you did not have. Mourn what you don't have. Mourn the false hopes projected in the future of what you might not have. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Like, let go of the control. This city, Santusta, like any city, is not something you practice in the moment of despair of a profound need. You can. It will work progressively. A siddhi is something that you practice daily to cultivate that power. So that later, when the profound yearning will come, you'll have an easier time mourning what has to be let go. Get it? You get that subtlety? All right. So, Santusta is the contemplation of a deep existential satisfaction. And every time your mind will throw at you, but I'm not satisfied, I feel so much regret, and I've made bad choices. Santusta is a siddhi where you capitalize on the little you have felt satisfied and accept that. So capitalize on, I gave the world good children, and they will be adults and make their own life. I'll be satisfied of that. Instead of being dissatisfied of they're not good enough. I can't speak personally. I'm extremely satisfied of what my children are becoming. But I know I've seen the despair in some parents' gaze, feeling they've been bad parents because of the choices of their kids. But at least you brought people in the world and you can be satisfied of what you've done. You've done what you knew at the time, satisfied of all the good food you ate, and let go that you're not having it anymore. This is just a first step, an introduction to Santusta, to cultivate a deep sense of satisfaction. And you practice Santusta until you become satisfied of just being alive here. And you go forward and you practice Santusta, which transcends needs that are actually illusionary wants. And if you can, one day maybe you'll have a Brahmanical or a sadhu level Santusta, where you'll realize it's not even about you. It's about Brahma satisfied of the evolution that happened. Santusta, deep, deep metaphysical, mystical satisfaction. Once you finally can let go of everything human, everything that is just an illusionary passion to pull you outside so you won't face your suffering inside. Mourn, lose, accept, and rejoice of simply existing here and now. And then transcend that into the simple satisfaction the universe has of having you in it. It's very deep. Okay? So let's review the one core important step. Even before that, make a difference between tusta and santusta. Okay, tusta is are you satisfied or not in a punctual way of that meal, of that person, of that conversation. Okay, that's tusta. Santusta, deep and existential. Okay, santusta, recognize that you have urges that pull you out into passions, quests outside of you. I need chocolate. I need a good steak. I mean, sometimes your body's telling you, hey, just give me protein, I'm dying here. Or, give me touch, I feel so lonely. Yeah, I understand. Santusta, the first step is to recognize it's not a need. It's a deep want filled with drama and attachment. But if you don't have that steak or that chocolate or that touch, you're not going to die. You're just going to have to face the suffering again. And this is how Santusta is so ascetic in letting go of what is not existential, what is sometimes apparently essential in life, but still saints have achieved self-realization without sexuality, without steak, without chocolate, without that job or that person in their life, It's a difficult path. And that's why we practice a Siddhi. So to practice Santusta, you will start with humbly accepting you are not there yet. Okay? Now this is so liberating because you practice Santusta. I'll be satisfied of where I am at in my level of evolution. Meaning, I will be satisfied of not yet achieving deep satisfaction. It's paradoxical, but it's awesome. Because Santusta will make you accept yourself as you are now with all these wants that are dressed as needs. Okay, it will accept, okay, this is where I'm at now. Because it's a satisfaction with your evolution. It's a satisfaction with where you are now. It's deep. And it accepts that it is a progressive state. That is something you cultivate over time. Okay? The beauty of Santusta is if you still don't have it, it's still good enough. If you still don't master existential satisfaction, you are still good enough. Okay? You'll be satisfied of that. So it's nice. Okay? No pressure. It's a Siddhi with no pressure. Okay. The objective is to cultivate a deep existential sense of Santusta until you finally reach the core of Santusta. It's not about me. And then you perceive yourself as a component of the whole. a flow in the universe. You are a part of a composition of life, of many individuals, of many entities in the manifest world. And as much as you have been subjected to karma and dharma and prakti, you have been the karma, the dharma, and the prakti in other people's life. Whatever these means doesn't matter right now. You've been part of the causality of this manifest world. And you'll think, whatever part I played, I'll be satisfied of being who I am. You know, Santusta accepts that the world is evolving. Now, don't use this to hide, okay? You see, there's a trap. If you feel you have not evolved enough, or you're still not a good enough person, you'll think, but at least my role was to be a karma for others. What? Yeah, out of your mind? Like, you know, my purpose was to be a punishment for the evildoers. So I was annoying for people to see their karma. I mean, that's a trap I've seen people do, okay? So just don't fall in that. This is ridiculously, this is such a low self-appreciation of yourself. Because it would be perceiving you as, I can't find any value in me, so maybe I'll see myself as a tool of evil or Satan. At least I had a purpose. Now, this is just you still outside in others, okay? You have to find that satisfaction inside. And when we say you have been the karma of others, don't see karma as punishment. Karma is not punishment. Karma is just the causality, okay? So don't fall in the trap of, at least, you know, if my life was complete waste and shit, I was, you know, part of the big sheen for others. This is a trap where you're just putting yourself out, okay? You have to go back in. Santusta, I have value as a part of the whole. And as I have faced this life, I have grown. Okay? Santusta. So, the deep core part, okay, concentrate on yourself again. Don't let your mind flow, okay? Concentrate on here and now. Santusta, existentially, will help you be satisfied of pure existence. Very simple, very avyaja and anashrita from the last 2 weeks of practice. But in the process of that, it will help you let go of urges, okay? And these urges, I mean, you'll still have them, you're human, but it will help you process them, okay? The urges of the constant, I need this, I need that. Let's work on this part. Incarnate the body. Breathe and be present here, okay? Manasvin nivedingari mashanti. Be here now. Be in the body. Incarnate. Incarnate in the body, recognize that in your life there are urges that come from a genetic and biological response. It can be hormonal. It can be emotional. It just rises. Sometimes it's even mental, part of attachments and beliefs, like addictions. Yeah, there's a mental part in there. So urges rise. Pay attention to those. You see urges of food, of specific people, of a role, of projecting false hope in the future. And just be honest with yourself. I sometimes have urges. Just admitting it. It takes just some courage to face an urge. It is not a need. It is a want that is empowered with denial and projected outside. I need something outside, so I won't do the work inside. This is the guy who has a coffee every morning. There will be times where you decide your threshold of tolerance. Do you really want to be completely ascetic like a sadhu? I've tried it for a few years. I prefer having a balanced life, and I'll still have my coffee in the morning. But there are urges where I will accept I won't go and satisfy those urges. I will let go. I will mourn what I don't have. And I will practice being satisfied existentially with what I am now, the little I am now. If it's little. Personally, I look back in the past, I am so satisfied of what I did of life, but that's because I worked on it. And you know, I know some people who didn't work on being an awesome person and being devoted to the good of humanity and having so much regret, but I look at these people and life did not really give them the required cards. You know, they were dealt with bad cards from the start. You can't be so hard on yourself. And you should not compare yourself to another who appears to have success. Because in the end, we're all equal. We're human beings. And we have to accept the cards we've been dealt. The opportunities that life gave us. Okay? There's a karma, a dharma, and a prakti. One day I'll explain those maybe. I've explained them a lot in seminars in the past. Which seminar? I don't know. Watch 300 hours of video on my YouTube and you'll have those explanations somewhere. Santusta is about accepting what you got existentially until you reach the point where Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, like the thing that is beyond you, accepts what came out of it, the evolution. If you can reach this part, you will realize at the divine level, satisfaction is absolute. You are accepted purely as you are. It is such a beautiful and releasing feeling. You don't need to be more or better. Santusta. Deep existential satisfaction of yourself. And in the mind of a bodhisattva, you just remove the yourself part. Deep satisfaction. Profound. This mystical revelation, this supernatural interventions in just being. That's the goal of Santusta. The side effect will be that it will pierce through all the walls of needs, of wants, of false hopes, of attachments, of dreams, illusions, to just bring you back here. Satisfaction. And in the satisfaction of being, you become acceptable. Santusta. After all this process, because there's the Siddhi you practice inside to touch the mystical revelation, then the practice of this revelation will go back outside and alleviate some of the need to prove yourself or the anger of what happened. You know, the battle with imperfection, you know, and those who believe in perfection. It will change your mind, your view of the world. Santusta, let's practice incarnate and transcendental. Santusta. Existential satisfaction. Santusta. It's not about me. The urges, I feel them very deep, but they are illusions. They are made of the suffering that I have not yet mourned and processed. And some of them are biological, physical, genetic. Like some of them, your animal is made to have urges. And one step at a time, you work on it. And you go deep into the Santusta feeling. I am good enough. Because it's not just me satisfied of me. It is the beyond. It is God, universal consciousness, satisfied of me. It is the universe satisfied of me. If in your mind, if in the surface, you still have doubts, but how could the universe be satisfied of me? Come on. Then you know that you have personal growth to do. Because if it's not about you, it's not about your opinion of you. Like your belief, your emotional conviction that you're not good is irrelevant. Santusta will transcend your level of self-esteem. It won't care if you love yourself as you are, if you despise yourself. It won't care. It doesn't matter. Santusta is deep, fundamental, existential. Santusta. It will bring you satisfaction to a point where you can't explain why you are acceptable for God in the universe. It doesn't matter. For some of you with a great self-esteem, with pride of what you've achieved in life, a good sense of satisfaction, it's easy. But for some of you who have suicidal tendencies, who are depressed, who are filled with regret, you can't possibly just look at yourself and say, yeah, I'm good enough. This is the beauty of Santusta. Those walls of suffering that you carry around you, they don't define you. You see, you are acceptable because you are satisfied. Something greater than you is satisfied of you. And you are satisfied of you as a result of that. Okay? So it's a pretty deep city. Because it's not a Siddhi Tusta. It is the Siddhi Santusta. Deep core existential. Yeah, super cool. All right. So you see we're on the sadhu path, an ascetic line of siddhis, where we practice anashrita, okay, of letting go of the drama, of letting go of the attachment, the implication. And then the avyaja siddhi of simplicity, okay. No need to weave webs of complication in your mind. Just go to the point, simply things as they are, you know. And then santusta. You can feel something in there deeper than what you can conceive in your mind. And that's why we're going into a line of purification of the ego in this, where you just take things as they are. And you'll notice for a few weeks I've been saying the word bodhisattva, okay? Like someone with a purified mind. But what does that mean? We hear the word, or we read the word bodhisattva in the sutras, in the esoteric teachings. What does it even mean? Bodhisattva. Someone with a pure mind. Okay, what does it mean? You know how clean is your house only to the point you've seen it cleaned. You know how your mind is you know how clean your mind and your heart can be up to the point that you have cleaned it. So having a pure mind, what is purity? What is impurity? What would be an impure mind be? I can imagine Ken Berger. I know what an impure mind is. Yeah, I get it. It takes a bit of education and a bit of practice into the mystical arts to understand through experience what a bodhisattva can be. I mean, I'm not sure that I'm going to get to the point of the Diamond Sutra Bodhisattva where being alive is an impurity. Like if you conceive yourself to be alive is a misunderstanding of the truth. That's something you'll get eventually, I guess. But if I can get you to the point of understanding simplicity, purity of mind, just being, I'll be satisfied of that. Okay. So, anashrita, avyaja, santusta. And santusta is what we're going to work this week. And try to do personal growth on urges. You can answer to an urge. It is acceptable. Please recognize it and see what part of it is a denial. Work on yourself while you answer an urge. And eventually maybe you'll try not to answer it. Do you understand? All right, one step at a time. And let's see what revelations will the Siddhi bring. Because the practice will bring always revelations deeper than what you understood in class. All right, peace. Love you guys.